I feel like people who are in favor of term limits are, in general, they're kind of midwits. They don't think beyond. They're comparing the positives of one with the negatives of another. And that's
So term limits. Where are you guys sitting on these?
I love term limits. I think it's important. I think it's important to get more people involved. I mean, I think a lot of people are intimidated by the whole process. And as somebody who's run against an incumbent who was in office for 10 years, I mean, that's an extremely a hard battle to fight. And if you allow constant turnover, you kind of force more people to get involved. More people that get involved, the more good ideas are usually found. And so I'm in favor of it because I think it gets more people involved in your government.
we already have term limits in place. We already have term limits. It's called elections. If you want people out of office, go vote them out of office. And I was sitting there thinking, man, you know how hard it is and how much work goes into even getting somebody of decent caliber into a position of power, only to cut yourself off at the knees and say, you know what? 2 terms is plenty, because they're trying to get rid of the bad people in office. But then, like I said, when they get the good people in office, the people they really, really want that are actually doing things, then they're like, term limits. I just think about, how much trouble the Republicans in general had getting Trump into office, and how awesome they think he is, and how much work he's doing, and doing amazing things for the people. Right. It's like, if we put these, and that there is a term limit on that position. I bet a lot of people wish there weren't. I bet a lot of people wish we could get a 3rd and a 4th term. Maybe there's some special workaround or something, but it's just not the case. And once we do that, then we're like, okay, so what do we got next? Who's next that's going to be able to fill the shoes of the great Donald Trump in this case? You know what I'm saying?
So I go back and forth, because obviously you don't want the establishment power of Chuck Schumer or Jack Johnson to bring it back local. You don't want that kind of establishment power, but also seeing the grassroots movement, it is not impossible to get rid of those people.
Yeah.
It's just hard.
In general, I feel like people who are in favor of term limits are, in general, they're kind of midwits. They don't think beyond. They're comparing the positives of one with the negatives of another, and that's no way to compare two ideas. And it's not going beyond that. Oh, we don't like this guy being in office. We need a way to limit how long he can stay in office. And it's pretty much where the thought ends on that, as far as I can tell.
I'm torn. I like the idea and I understand the premise, but that just turns it. I think that term limits creates bureaucratic power. You've got someone like the secretary, I think it is right now, for the election administration here in the state, has been there since 1995. That's 30 years. And alternatively, I think you need people who understand how the system works to go inside and make sure that you poke holes in all the right places, so that the establishment ship sinks without bringing down the whole system.
Chase, that's actually brilliant. I'm for term limits again. But with this caveat, the only people that have term limits implemented are the bureaucracy. That secretary, 8 years. That's it, maximum. But the people that we actually want, that we vote in, they can be there as many times. We keep voting them in, but we don't have any power to control how long the other people can run. We don't vote them in.
I've got a real big issue with you, Daniel.
Yeah, I'm flying by the seat of my pants here, but
I've got an issue with that, though. How are they going to collect their 20-year massive pensions and stuff from these government jobs?
Right.
8 years.
Yeah, it's always the deep state, that term that talks about all the people that are there forever and ever and ever. Amen. Never go anywhere. That aren't voted.
It's almost like we could save a whole lot of money by making government jobs public service again.
Hey, I kind of like this idea. How do we get a bill written up that puts term limits on the bureaucracy? That's an idea to play with. I'd love to hear other people's thoughts in the comments on that particular angle.